Hello and welcome to my newest Let's Play. This game will be Dark Souls, the Prepare to Die edition on the PC. Starting a new file, of course. I posted on Reddit that I was going to start this Let's Play, and I was given an interesting idea for a challenge run by... Crap, I should have wrote down his name. Sorry, I'll give you a shout out in the comments. Let's just call ourselves Synn. And we will be male, I guess. Alright, you can pick multiple classes in this game. By the way, I'm gonna be going through anything for a newer player watching this. There's the warrior who's got high strength and high dexterity and decent health and endurance. I'll go through what all the stats mean later. He's really good with melee weapons, not so good with magic. The knight has really high vitality and decent amount of face, so he's kind of your paladin-like class. The wanderer is more of your... how would I say this? Not quite a rogue, not quite a warrior, kind of in between the two. Your thief is your rogue class, except in this game he's got low stamina and low health, which is kind of normal, but he's also got fairly decent intelligence and face down here. The bandit is kind of your all-out strength character, your berserker if you will. Hunter is just your generic bow user. Sorcerer is your generic magic user. Pyromancer has the lowest starting level and uses fire-based magic. The cleric is your generic face class. And then deprived. 11 of everything, no starting armor. That's what we're gonna be. For the gift, you can either take no gift, which is boring, the Goddess Blessing, which fully heals you once. The Black Firebomb gives you 5 or 6 throwable weapons, do a decent amount of fire damage. Twin Humanities, you'll find out what they do later. The Binoculars, kind of useless because you can find them early. The Pendant, it says no effect, but there's quite a bit of conspiracy behind this item. We're gonna take that. Other than that, we could have the Master Key. I highly suggest getting this. I'm not going to though. The Tiny Beans Ring HP recovers slowly when equipped. I don't recall what that does. I saw it gave you 30 more max HP, but I guess I'm wrong. Cool. I just got disconnected from Windows Live. Why can't this game be on Steam? Well, there's my Games for Windows Live ID if you're curious. Come on. Come on. Can't have lost internet. I'm gonna cut the video here and come back when I figure out what the hell's going on. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. I think we were discussing the Tiny Beans Ring, or just finishing that. The Old Witch's Ring, it allows you to talk to a certain NPC you can't otherwise. But we get the pendant. Physique does not change anything. I'll be large, I guess. None of this stuff changes anything, so I'm just gonna pick random stuff. I'm not gonna go into any detail in this. You can, if you want, you can customize and go in and say, change everything. Like, go into maturity. I have no idea how to do it, so random. That'll be us. Initialize. Customize. I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I exit this? Okay. There's our character. You can see the gear you start with. There is our pendant, our club, and our shield. The shield and the club. Let's go. I'm not going to speak during this intro.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Okay, and that's our intro. There's not going to be too many cutscenes like that, but that one definitely sets the stage of the game as well as the lore.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Okay, and there's the rest of the intro. So, this is our character. Looks a lot different as undead as when they were human. Not sure why Fraps is saying I'm only at 12 frames per second. This seemed... I'll try to fix it for the next video, but I kind of want to play this game. So, back on the ground here, these messages, they'll tell you what to do at the beginning. I am playing completely with keyboard, so that doesn't really affect me. So, we can attack the undead. We can even go into our inventory and see what we're using. Currently, we only have a straight sword hilt, which all of this is probably gibberish to a newer player, and I'll explain it all later. That's future Synn's problem. You got your strong attack as well. And you can dash. You can also roll with that, you can jump with that. It's all the same button. And you can target. The targeting system's similar to a Zelda-esque Sync Ocarina of Time, if you have yet to play this game. Oh, I should say this before I get any further. If you have not played this game, and you are looking to play this game, I suggest that you stop watching now, or at least after the tutorial, and get the game for yourself. This is a game that should be played with no knowledge previously. I made the mistake of watching a Let's Play before getting it, and while it was still awesome to watch, I really wish I had not. If you're not sure about it, feel free to watch, and if you played the game before, do the same. We can rest at a bonfire to recover our HP. That would be, of course, the red bar. I should explain what those are. Red bar is our HP. And then our attacks drain our stamina. Our rolls drain our stamina. Our sprinting drains our stamina. And as you'll see later, blocking drains our stamina. When you rest at a bonfire, it respawns all enemies as well. Well, not all enemies, 90%. This message here has a rating at the bottom of it. That means it was laid by another player. Yeah, you can kind of see what's going on. The camera's nice in this game. What's this say? Get away. As you can see, we're not accomplishing much here, so let's take the device as a message and get out of here. 2 damage is not very significant. And these bonfires also work as a checkpoint system, so if we perish in combat, we'll respawn at that bonfire. Get your shield. Ooh, glowy. Glowy means item. Then we can go in here and equip our shield. So now, when I block, it's basically an impervious block, unless you're attacked from behind. And as you can see, when I block, it'll drain stamina as well. And we got our club. We've now achieved all of our starting items, except for our pendant. Where's my pendant? I want my pendant. We can change our weapons. As you can see, we can have 2 weapons equipped in each slot. Currently we only have 2 weapons, counting the shield, but just to display it, I'll put on my straight sword hilt. And in the midst of combat, you can see weapons are interchangeable. And this club does a lot more than our stone hilt would do. In fact, for science, why don't I show you on the next enemy? Yeah, you can backstep as well and roll. You can see that's where we started. Let's go this way first. Ooh, shiny there. Unfortunately, stairs are out. So, no shiny for us today. And nothing back here. And I'm getting pop-ups telling me that I have 402 errors that I've already fixed. Thank you. So I guess, since those stairs are out, let's head up these ones. Oh god. So then, there's another hollow, as they're called here. You can see that's only doing 2, but our club is doing 52. Quite a nice change. The ragdoll effects for bodies is also fun in this game. It is locked. Oh, what's that? The rock actually crashed through the wall here. Kept going. Hey, isn't this the guy who gave us the key to get out?
You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you?
How are you undead if you're gonna die? Sure, I'll help you.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite.
That will be useful.
Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Yep, if we rest at a bonfire, we'll replenish our Estus. There's our ball. So, Estus. You drink it, you get health. Not full health or anything, and you have a limited amount of uses. Plus, you can't pause and go in and... Oh, did he... No! Why does he do that? I guess he does it for my sake. Anyways, the Estus, with no pause system, it becomes a challenge. That's one of the main difficulties of this very difficult game. You have to find the openings to heal. It's locked by some contraption. At least to me it is. I'm sure people would argue that. But between the enemies doing a lot of damage and being relentless, and the fact you can't pause to heal. Oh yeah, we rested. As you can see, this guy's back now. And apparently we do more damage. No, that was a counterattack. If you attack during somebody's attack, it'll do what's known as a counterattack. Oh yes, we can wield our weapon two-handed. For more damage, but lack of a shield. You can also kick, if I can do it right. Dang it. There you go. And jump attack. Now with the club, the jump attack is the same as just regular strong attack. But it does a lot more damage. So the shield is kind of a crutch in this game, but it's a crutch that you can use and still beat the game. Dodging will prevent you from taking damage just as well as a shield ever will. you attack while you fall, you will do a plunging attack. If you get behind an enemy, you will get a critical hit. And you can also parry an enemy and then riposte it. I'll display the backstab on this enemy. That right there, the Dark Souls community has a love-hate relationship with. They all hate backstabs, or a lot of people hate backstabs, but a lot of people love them. I am in between on the matter. Okay, well, we were told to do a plunging attack. Let's do what we were told. So much more than two we were doing. And we have a shield now as well. Granted, it is possible to beat this guy using our stone hilt, or straight sword hilt, and no Estus. But why waste time? Really, the main part of this game, boss fights, is pattern recognition. Like, I saw him rising up there, I know that he's gonna slam down afterwards. Why? Because I've died on this boss before. This is unfortunately not blind. I would love to do a blind let's play of this, but I've played it before. And I loved it enough that I'm doing a let's play of it. Except this let's play is gonna have some challenges. It's not gonna be a normal just go through the game deprived run. Wait, the footsteps haven't stopped. And I hate to leave that item behind. But unfortunately I didn't show it, but the door up there is locked. I did not show it because I am not smart. Good job, go straight ahead. Okay, we shall. Except I want to display something before we go straight ahead. It's right over here.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
Basically, if you drop an item there, the next time you log back in, the crow will have traded an item for it. I don't know purely how it works, but I normally don't use it too much because I'm too lazy.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage. To the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Welcome to Lordran. I will be discussing the restrictions of my challenge run now, and afterwards I will go through and discuss what all of the different statistics do. We have some new options with Bonfire, which allows us to reverse hollowing, and Kindle, I'll describe them later, level up and put our souls into stats, and each time you do, the amount required will go up. I will discuss all this shortly, but first I will talk about my challenge run. I am doing what what I describe as a scavenger run. If you're not interested in hearing all this, I'm gonna leave it in the description. Just end the video now. I'm gonna end the video after I'm done describing it. So, as I showed before, you have 2 right-hand slots and 2 left-hand slots. What I'm gonna do, and as well as 4 armor slots and 2 ring slots, and then your arrows, your bolts, and your usable items. What I'm doing for my challenge run is, whenever I pick up a piece of gear, I have to use it. I will have 1 melee weapon on at all times, 1 shield, 1 ranged weapon, and then 1 spellcasting tool. Spellcasting tool, I'll decide which one I'm using relative to the last spell I picked up, which I will have to use. The armor I will replace as soon as I have to. So say a shield drops, and you can see this shield requires 7 strengths in the required parameters. The first number is strengths and dexterity, fate, or intelligence, and then face. And then it also has its bonuses and their parameter bonuses. Say I get a shield that's too heavy for me to use, but I can use it with 2 hands because that increases the amount of your strengths effects. I might replace my melee weapon into my offhand and my shield into my main hand and run around two-handing the shield. It's gonna be interesting for all of that. The armor, I will replace it every time I pick one up. And then my ranged weapon will be the same, and my spellcasting tool will reflect the last spell I picked up, as I said. That will be the challenge. Especially when we get later in the game and you're meant to have an upgraded weapon. I will not. Next up, I will be going through the stats. If you know all of these, feel free to turn off the video now. Alright, this will be better to show in the level up menu. First things first, you have your level. Every time you increase your level, all of your defenses will go up. That's pretty much the main reason to level, except to get the stats. Humanity, that is a top left number you can see there. It is used to reverse hollowing, which allows you to become human and thus join into the multiplayer. Again, I will describe that later. And when you are human, you can kindle a bonfire using a humanity, which will give you more Estus flask. You can see I have 10 now instead of the 5 previously, because this bonfire has a fire keeper, and thus it is already kindled. For stats, vitality, it simply gives you HP. One of the most important stats. Attunement, it gives you more attunement slots, which means you can hold more spells at once. That's essential for a spellcaster, obviously. And pyromancer even more so, as they generally have less uses per spell, but it does not scale. Endurance, in my mind the most important stat. It gives you bleed resistance, and I have a friend online. It gives you bleed resistance, stamina, and equip load. What equip load does is, if you are wearing heavy armor and your equip load goes above 25%, you then get what's known as the medium roll instead of what I have, which is known as the fast roll. And if you then go even higher, above 50, you get what's known as the fat roll, which is immensely slow. And if you go even higher, I'm not sure about 75% to 100 if there's anything, but if you go above 100, you can't run, you can't roll. That's as simple as it gets. And each time you pass this threshold, certain rings have different effects, and your stamina regen changes, usually lowered. I'm pretty sure Why did my Dark Souls just minimize on me? That damn well... God damn it, my Dark Souls just closed on me and that cut the recording. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. I just finished talking about endurance when that happened. Strength, it increases certain weapons damage, as to go back into my inventory. As you can see here, this has an A parameter bonus with strengths. I have 11 strengths. You can then see under attack it gives me 8 more physical because I'm 1 above its thing. I'm not sure if 11 goes into that or 1 goes into that. Somebody could correct me in the comments, hopefully. And then this one has a D, which you can see gives even less. Certain ones will have double parameters like this, and that's basically all I have to say about parameters. They'll equip new weapons, spells, and such. That is these 4, not including resistance. And increase your damage with said weapons or magics. Faces miracles, intelligence, sorceries, and dexterity in particular will increase your casting speed of maybe just pyromancy, I'm not sure. These get a soft cap, as it's described, at 40, where their diminishing returns get high enough that it's almost pointless to level them above 40, unless you want a two-handed weapon that requires 50, or one-handed weapon that requires 50 strength. These, as well in endurance, is what's going to make this run very difficult. When I get a shield that I can't use one-handed, or a weapon that I can't use one-handed, I'm going to be in trouble, or if I'm ended up fat rolling because of the equipment I just got. Resistance increases all of your stats by all of your resist by 1 more than simply leveling up, and gives you a small amount of poison resist. Honestly, the most worthless stat. Humanity increases all resistances, and your item discovery. It also allows you to do cooperative and person versus person combat. And I believe that's all I have to discuss about statistics. You can I'm sorry. And then in the middle column you have your HP, your stamina, equip load. I've described them all. Then you have your attack ratings. That is not accurate. If you have a weapon that deals composite damage, which, let's go into a weapon so I can describe damage types. There's physical, magic, fire, lightning. Different shields will reduce physical, magic, fire, or lightning by different amounts. And it has stability. Stability is how much stamina damage you take. And then different armor will affect different amounts differently. But say I have 80 physical, and then I have another weapon that has 40 physical and 40 lightning. But then, the weapon that has 80 physical will be substantially better, because the weapon that has 80 physical and 40 physical and 40 magic will have to penetrate 2 different defenses, and they're not percent reduction. Or are they? Either way, the amount of damage you reduce will be much higher with it doing separate damages. But there is an advantage to elemental weapons, as in they'll have less of a parameter bonus, but will do higher base damage in most cases. Or in the case of certain ones, they'll be affected by face or intelligence. You have your physical defense. Weapons have 4 different types. They have normal, I'm not sure what defines normal. They have strike, which is kind of blunt trauma. Slash, which would be sword strikes. And thrust, which would be spear thrusts. Then you have your magic defense, your fire defense, and your lightning defense. And the right hand side, you have your attunement slots in whatever spell you have equipped. You have your item discovery. As that increases, the amount of items will increase. Very, very useful if you're trying to farm an item, although you can go through this game without farming at all pretty easily. Your curse resist. Curse is brutal. To put it simply, if you get cursed, you respawn with half HP until you remove the curse. Poison resist. Resists poison and toxin effects, which poison is not terrible. You lose maybe like 3 HP every half a second, which is decent with the amount of HP I have, but it lasts an extremely long time. Toxin, on the other hand, even with 10 Estus Flasks, the amount of HP I have, if I try to last throughout an entire Toxin, I will die. Toxin is just brutal. Bleed, when it builds up, it will do 30% of my max health damage. 50% on certain weapons, though. Remember that. Poise is how much you get staggered by a weapon. There are breaking points of being able to be stun locked by certain weapons at certain poises. It's fairly important, but you can get by with 0 poise. Heavier armor will give you higher poise. I believe that is everything. For items, we have humanities, we use them, they give us a humanity and fully heal us. Black Separation Crystal, you can either remove a summon or leave a world you're invading or summoned in. I'm hoping to show a lot of the multiplayer. And the Dark Sign. I've never used it, but it basically kills you. Yeah. It's a passive item, luckily, so if you do die, that's why we respawn. Anyways, that'll be all for this video. If you stuck with me through the discussion of statistics, thank you. If not, I hope to see you next video. Ciao.